Good morning, everyone. My name is Genevieve, and I'm here to teach you a little bit of Qigong. Today, we're going to be talking about running. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself just for a second to give you context. I have identified as someone who hates running like jogging style running, since I can remember. So, hated PE when I was in elementary and middle school. Never wanted to go for a jog, never in my life ever tried to do that. Maybe I tried, and that's how I knew I didn't like it. I would get a stitch. I didn't like being sweaty. I didn't like any of the jouncing kind of feelings. So I basically wrote it off, and I've tried lots of other ways to get fit and feel great during my life. But I really never tried running. I just assumed running was like off the menu for me by choice. Like it just doesn't interest me. And then, via a interesting path that maybe I'll share another time, I was able to start running in 2025. So in May 2025, I ran my first 5K. In June 2025, I ran my second 5K. And just now, last weekend, I ran my third 5K. So that means I've run 3 5Ks in 9 months. And I started from zero. I never, ever thought that would happen. So I'm not saying any of that to brag. I'm actually just telling you so you have the facts of why what I'm about to teach you about Qigong could actually help you if you have any interest at all in trying running. I think this way of thinking about running actually helped me start running. And I'm very grateful to Qigong and Malcolm and Annie Dean for helping me figure this out without even talking about it explicitly. So let me tell you about how I apply some of my Qigong during my running. All right. So as usual, I would start with the Qigong. Gather Qi, bring it in, settle in your dantian, anything extra out your feet. All right, and this is how Qigong helps me with running in the biggest way. There are lots of other ways, which maybe I'll also teach you at a future time, but for today, there was a huge insight that changed everything for me. So what could that have been? As you know, in Qigong, we would think about our dantian. That's that sphere that lives inside your abdomen, universal ball bearing, can move in any direction, holds and generates energy that you can use all day long. And so because it's a sphere, we talk a lot about the dantian rolling. So it can roll forward, it can roll from side to side. And very early on when I started studying Qigong in 2021, I think it was, that is when I realized that for me, visualizing the dantian rolling forward like a wheel, like my whole body's a wheel and my dantian is rolling forward, that was actually one of the insights that made it possible for me to imagine what my dantian actually was and actually start to feel it inside my body. So I remember very early on sending Malcolm and Annie an email where I explained that I had gone for a hike with my family. We were walking downhill. It was a strenuous hike. I was tired. And I was able to visualize my dantian just rolling gently down the hill with very little effort from me. And pardon me. That meant that I actually felt like the awareness of the idea that I had a wheel inside my own body that could go easily down the hill. That really helped me get down the hill. It had practical impact right away. And because I hate running, I never thought about how this might apply to running until very recently. And then I realized more or less the same insight is so helpful. So when you're running, you can feel your dantian. It's rolling forward. And then that was already helpful. But the huge change occurred when I realized I can actually think about my dantian as being gigantic. It can go from where it really lives all the way to the ground. And then it's like I have a huge Indiana Jones style boulder sphere all the way from my core to the floor. And when I'm running, not just my dantian is rolling, I can imagine that whole situation rolling. I was trying to come up with a visualization for this, and I thought about, I think her name was Rosie, the robot from the Jetsons. she moves around on a little wheel. That is her like way of moving. Her body is on a wheel that rolls around. And that's what I can feel now when I run. I can feel that my entire lower body is like a sphere. It's rolling forward. I can roll it backward. I can roll it in place. Keep things moving even when I'm not moving myself. And this insight, you guys, it has made such a big difference, because what I used to hate about running was that sense of like bouncing. I don't like that. But now I don't feel it as much, because the sphere is not bouncing. The sphere is moving like smoothly down the road, smoothly back, and it's on the ground, remember? So when I'm doing this, I don't have the sense that I'm jumping up and down and like jouncing my whole body. Instead, I'm just riding, like gliding on my little sphere, or my big sphere in this case. And it really eliminated that thing that I hated about running, which is like the huge up and down movement. Instead, I have this visualization of a smooth sphere just like rolling along, and it's really made it much more comfortable for me to run. So this is my first video about running in Qigong. If you're interested, leave a comment. Maybe I'll make some more. Thank you so much for being here today. As usual, let's salute our masters. And we'll salute our classmates. Let me look at you. That's all of you. Thank you for being here. All right. Be well out there. See you soon.